Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today I was just going to kind of go and basically have this be kind of an open show. Now, I do have a few stories that I've pulled up, but just be ready, in the chat, and you guys can bring up topics that you want us to look into today. And I say us because it's all of us working together, right? And gosh, there's been so much news lately, hasn't there? It seems to be reaching some kind of end point, doesn't it? That's at least what it feels like to me. Stories have come up about the IRS. They're trying to backpedal on these 80-something thousand IRS agents that they're hiring. They're basically saying that, oh, this isn't about the middle class. That's just fake news. We're not going after the middle class. Well, then why do you need all those IRS agents? Now, they have their own cover story as to why they need these agents. They're saying that they've had staff shortages and budget shortfalls, and most of these agents aren't even going to be out there auditing anything, and that the auditors are just a small portion of it. But here's what I think's happening. As a lot of the banking system is now coming online with 5G and faster networks, real-time information. The banks are now working with the IRS, whereas before they really weren't. There was like this wall between the IRS and the banks. In other words, we had some privacy. I mean, unless the IRS deemed you, that you needed to be audited, of course the banks would have to give up your information. But up to that point, there was no real-time system of a bank communicating with the IRS about your account. It just didn't happen. Well, all that silently changed. It changed through PayPal. We use PayPal here for our fundraiser, for those of you that donate to the channel. And now PayPal is required to report the transactions to the IRS. And with 5G, this has brought up basically a lot of new data for the IRS to go through. Now, they'll say they're not specifically going after the middle class, but really, if they get the data, they are going to need people to enforce that data. Now, most people aren't doing anything wrong, or they don't think they're doing anything wrong, but the way that the tax code is written, pretty much everybody's doing something wrong. So it's just a matter of picking and choosing who they want to go after. If you, for instance, your child had a lemonade stand and they made a couple $100 to buy a bike, and you didn't report that on your taxes, you basically done something wrong according to their laws. So that's, I believe, what the silent component is of all this, that there's all this new data that they don't have enough people to go through. They don't have the algorithms to go through it, to flag all this stuff. And they're looking at it as one big pile of cash just waiting to be scooped up. Now, here's how you know it's not about the money for them. Because I'll tell you a little story. Someone I knew who was close to me was really good at getting deals, but sometimes getting the deals was taken a little bit too far. Like, for instance, they would go all the way across town to save 25 cents on a stick of butter. Well, how much gas did you just burn driving to that other store for that stick of butter? Now, I appreciated that about this person, but in the end, you got to be smart about where you spend your resources. So in other words, if the IRS does come after the middle class, which I believe that at some point they will, we will be under a microscope, every dime and penny accounted for. It's going to be like driving across town to save 25 cents on a stick of butter. They're not going to make the money back based on the resources that they spend to get a few $100s here, a few $1,000s there back in taxes. But they'll justify it. And basically it'll be about control. It will be about control and fear. Now, another silent element of all this that nobody's talking about is the blockchain. And maybe that's why they need all these IRS agents, because they are secretly going to bring this online. And of course, that will need to plug in to the IRS, won't it? So, a little bit on that. Now, we were doing a show yesterday on the movie called Nope. And one of you mentioned in the comments section that this is trending on, what, TikTok, I guess? This is trending on TikTok, the Jellyfish haircut. Now, I've seen variations of this over the years, but to have it trending alongside of this whole Nope film, which is all about a giant jellyfish, is pretty interesting, isn't it? Look at this. This is crazy. The jellyfish, it's almost like a bowl cut with some straggling hair coming down the side. This lady took it a step further and added some color. So that's pretty interesting. Anyway, not my bag, but now here's another thing that appeared in the film yesterday that we decoded called Nope. This is called the Jesus Lizard. And you know, these rabbit holes go deep. And so in the film, one of the characters was wearing a Jesus Lizard t-shirt. And I dug only so far. I was looking into this and I was like, oh, that's a band. And it is a band called the Jesus Lizard. But their name was based off of this animal, this lizard, called a Jesus Lizard. Now, why is it called a Jesus Lizard? Well, this thing walks on water. Now, I've never seen, I wonder if they got a video here in Wikipedia. It doesn't look like they do. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh, let's watch this. This is lizard walking on water. This is shocking. Look at that. Lizard walking on water. So think of the blasphemy here, okay? The Son of God who walked on water, and they're comparing him to this lizard, which is the serpent, the opposite of Jesus. Another thing I noticed is the name of this lizard. Now, where's this lizard from? It looks like Central America, South America, in the rainforest. But the name of this lizard is called a basilisk. You've probably heard that before, because a basilisk is like a basilica. And there's a particular channel, I'm not going to give him a mention, but he talks about a lizard being at the Basilica in the outline of it. And I wouldn't argue that. Kind of looks like that, but this kind of explains it, doesn't it? What does Basilica mean, or basil? Well, apparently it means king, like the king of something. King, emperor, czar, according to this here. It's derived from Basilius, and it's Greek. So that's interesting. So, the lizard Basilica. Now, what else do we have here? Well, this is concerning, this next article here. Look at Biden flashing the 666. Oh my God. He says he had zero advance notice of FBI search for Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Okay. Let's see here. So this is concerning. Many of you have heard about this. Nearly 300 Southern Illinoisans have to give up their firearms after gun rights revoked. Now, I don't know how this whole system works. If some of you are from Southern Illinois and you've heard about this in your news, apparently it is a gun grab going on right now. They're calling it an enforcement blitz. June 16th to June 31st. And they rounded up all these guns. Now, it says here, they give up ownership of their firearms after they had their firearms rights revoked. How do you get your rights revoked? There's some kind of firearms owner's identification card involved here in this. And if you don't keep it up to date, then they feel like they have the right to go pick up your gun. So this is just more of the same going on here. Using different methods to secretly chip away and pick off gun owners and their rights. And by the end of this, after 5 or 10 years, there won't be many guns left, will they? And this is how they do it, through gradualism. So let me go back in here and see what you guys know about these FOID cards in Illinois. It's called FOID, FOID card. because I don't really know much about this. See what you guys know about the Foid card. Any of you guys gun owners out there? Now, I also heard from some other channels that they're going around doing checks on people with a certain kind of trigger as well, saying that, oh, this trigger now is illegal, you're not allowed to sell it, we're giving you a warning. And basically the enforcement arm of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms are going around to people's doors, which would freak people out, wouldn't it? Can you imagine these armed people showing up to your door with some kind of warning when you haven't even done anything wrong? Well, this is what's going on right now. Slowly tightening the noose. Now, the other day, I was over at my property, and there were Copperhead snakes. And I was like, think of the irony of that. Copperhead snakes running around, trying to, and this is dangerous. These things are highly poisonous. And I thought about how a copperhead snake ambushes its predators. It sits in these piles of debris. So I was clearing this debris from my property, and little by little, and I was trying to be careful because I knew there were snakes around, and a neighbor had mentioned that there were copperheads, but for some reason I didn't want to believe that. I had seen a rat snake, but had not seen any copperheads yet. And lo and behold, found 2 on my property within 2 visits. And they coil up. They ambush their predator and wrap it up after they inject it with venom. And I was like, man, this is exactly everything that's been going on right now in our reality. And I believe those are signs from God that we're on the right track in the stuff we're talking about. So very soon, these snakes will be basically starting to bed down for the winter. They'll get into some deeper piles and or under some leaves or whatever, because as the weather cools off, they pretty much, they need to just chill out until spring. And then I got to watch out again. Ooh, rat snakes will eat copperheads, says Solemn Peace. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I got myself some of these, gosh, I look like I used to play soccer when I was like in 3rd or 4th grade. And remember the shin guards? So I got myself some of these snake-proof shin guards. I'll have to take a picture because it looks kind of funny. But they basically are, so that if it strikes you in the shins, that you won't get, you won't get hit or whatever. So, absolutely a spiritual battle. Absolutely. Now let's get into some of these other stories here. What do we have here? I thought this one was kind of funny. No one really commented on the Foid card, so I guess we'll move past that. Now, not many people follow Sylvester Stallone anymore, but I grew up on this guy, Rambo and all this. I mean, this guy was like, back when, these people were popular and famous, they did all these films, and the films are a lot more simple than they are now. A lot more stunts, though. So they were kind of entertaining to watch. This was kind of the beginnings of really people really getting into Hollywood and this whole, thing. And the special effects had come up to speed, and these films are actually kind of entertaining to watch. But I thought it was interesting that now Sylvester Stallone's getting a divorce after 25 years of marriage, and that his name actually has the word alone in it. Sylvester's gonna be alone. And now they have reasons why she's saying that she's divorcing him. Rumors that, oh, it's because he wanted another dog and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, a lot of these Hollywood marriages are very hard to maintain. Most of it is about image. Most of it's about giving the semblance that these people are just like us and that are normal. But there's really nothing normal about their lives, because everywhere they go, people want their autograph, and their ego is pumped up through the roof. I mean, you can only imagine. And when you have an ego in a marriage, I don't know about you guys, but there's really no room for ego in a marriage, because one person thinking they have to win all the time is basically narcissism, okay? So, this is what's going on with Sylvester Stallone. Gonna be alone. And I guess they had a bunch of daughters. Look, there's the white horse. And I don't know how they feel about all this, but here's the update on Sylvester Stallone. Now, what else do we have here? This story's crazy. Be careful. Post mail carrier dies after being attacked by 5 dogs in rural Florida. Now, this is kind of scary. Look at these dogs. Now, apparently they were behind a fence, but they got out and went after this mail carrier and basically killed her. Unbelievable. Let's read this. U.S. Postal Service carrier in rural Florida was killed after being attacked by 5 dogs when her vehicle broke down. Can you imagine the horror of having 5 dogs coming after you? It's hard enough to ward off 1 dog. It makes you wonder, like, I don't know. I hope they're not trying to justify mail carriers carrying weapons too for self-defense. Maybe that's what this is about. This is just like a programming story, so that one day when we see postmen carrying guns, it's not going to be so alarming. They'll say it's for self-defense against dogs or something. I don't know. But any kind of mail carrier, UPS, FedEx, these are kind of dangerous jobs. I mean, you never know what you're going to run into. You could run into some crazy person because you're going house to house, and not everybody's normal like we are. There are some really crazy people. You got people on drugs. You got people in the middle of domestic disputes. You've got wild animals running around, or animals that are abused that like to attack anything that comes up to the door. So, this is kind of a tough job. Now, this poor lady, she was 61 years old. She was probably getting close to retirement. And here come the dogs. Now, one neighbor brought out his firearm and fired several shots into the air, but he didn't shoot the dogs. Probably was worried about getting sued, wasn't he? We live in a society now where everyone's afraid to help because of the way the legal system works. You get drug into some kind of trial. You get drug into some drama. You get drug into things, and people, their lives are so busy now, just trying to keep their heads above water. They don't want to be bothered. Where do you think that agenda comes from? That's the agenda of the enemy, isn't it? He doesn't want us being good Samaritans out of fear. Right? So they applied tourniquets to this poor lady, and she went into cardiac arrest on the way to the hospital and died the next day. I hope the post office takes care of this woman's family, because this is really, really messed up. Now, apparently there had been calls out to this property for service regarding these dogs. And they're saying that the owner may or may not be held liable. I mean, even if the owner was held liable, do they have the money, if they were sued, to help this woman's family or even help with her burial? I don't think that might not be the case. This could have been just a poor rural family. I mean, what are they actually going to get out of these people? So, look at all the comments down here. Now, there are a lot of people commenting down here that were actually postal carriers, talking about how difficult their job is when it comes to people's dogs getting out and how they have to deal with this on their routes. So, interesting story nonetheless. Here's a story I had on the IRS. They're saying, oh no, they're not going after the middle class. Should have probably pulled that up at the beginning of the show. All right, what else do we have here? Now, let's go back in here into the chat. What do you guys want to talk about today? Now, I have this group pulled up that did the song Pink Venom. You guys were asking about that. We're going to look at that. The group's called Black Pink. But I want to give you guys the opportunity to, bring up any topics that you want to talk about today. Yeah, it says they were pit bulls. Yes, they look like it. Now, interestingly, the article will not say the breed of the dogs, which is interesting to me. Carry bear spray, 30 feet. Would that stop a pit bull, though? I don't know. All right. What else do we have here? Clock towers. Let's talk about pink bismuth. Mainly going after the middle class. Okay, every mail carrier should be issued a can of O2. No dog wants to play with you if you have O2 spray. Yeah, I mean, at the least, you would think that that would be a slam dunk, right? Maybe not a weapon, but, you know, some kind of spray. I don't know, bear spray? I mean, how much would that cost? I get 1 million cans of bear spray for $4 each, $4 million. Arm the mail carriers. I don't know. Every mail carrier I've talked to are really cool people. You know, they try to remember your name. Really nice. Sometimes they'll stop and talk to you. All right. Rachel has a pit. Yeah, you know, a lot of it's how you raise these dogs. You know, if you're a sweet, kind person and you're not constantly, you know, and you don't raise the dog as some kind to protect you against every single thing. The dog has to know what's a threat and what's not a threat, you know? And it's how you raise the dog. If you're raising the dog to be violent, the dog's going to be violent. If you raise a dog that every single thing's a threat and the dog's super protective of you, then that's what's going to happen. So there's like this medium ground, isn't there? Bang bag, some people say. Bear mace. Oh, bear mace is $30. Oh my gosh. I had no idea this stuff costs that much. Alright. Had American Bulldog. She was so gentle. Mail carriers taste good. Change the subject, says Boru. Alright, we will change the subject. Boru wants us to change the subject. Alright, let's get into this group. Blackpink. Now, this just came up on my radar a couple days ago because one of their videos went super viral, apparently. Got like millions and millions of views in like 5 minutes or something. And this is where our society is headed. Now, this is a Korean pop group. I didn't dig too much into it because I wanted to do this mostly live. They're calling it Top K-pop. K-pop, I guess, is what it is. It looks like 4 girls from Korea. They do dance and pop music. Now, there are videos on YouTube, but I'm not going to pull those up for copyright reasons. But here is their latest album called Pink Venom. And look at this. It says Born Pink. And this is the album cover right here. 2 pink fangs. Well, this is interesting because everybody knows what the pink venom is. It's a crenodrome. And so here we have this pink venom. And we were just decoding the movie Venom, weren't we? The Venom franchise from Spider-Man and all that. And that was about possession, wasn't it? So this is interesting, that the timing of this. Again, I didn't know this had just released, but apparently it did. And right along the lines of our Venom decodes. Now, what could this represent? Well, definitely some kind of transformation. The injection of the fangs, and probably coincides with the recent injections that the entire world has received on some level. Because that's what this is about, isn't it? And apparently that looks like the C is spelt backward in black pink. I wonder what that's about. Interesting. Alright, let's scroll down here and read a little bit of this. Blackpink. This is the group here. Korean group. Now, they have millions of subscribers. Some of their videos have reached 1 billion people, or according to YouTube. I think all the numbers are skewed when it comes to this stuff. It's pumped up. And I don't really believe a lot of it. But this is the group. Pink Venom. Interesting. Alright, let's go back here. Now, at some point, we may break down some of their videos. I did watch a part of one of their videos, and there was a lot of occult symbolism going on. But it's almost like one of those things where it was so obvious that it was like not even worth decoding. It's almost like they're gaslighting us, right? I like to more look between the lines and see things that no one else is seeing and drawing the connections there, because then it's a lot more convincing than when they're in your face with the symbolism, because there are plenty of channels doing in your face symbolism, aren't there? So Pink Venom, I know, is Pepto-Bismol. You know, it's funny because a lot of these antacids and Pepto-Bismol, it says right there on the packaging that they do not know how it actually works. The mechanism of action is unknown. But for some reason, bismuth does help soothe your stomach. That's kind of scary. Billions of people have put this into their body and they really don't know how it works. Alright, so at this point, we'll just kind of open it up to anything else you guys want to talk about today. Uh-oh, my older brother told me he tested positive for C19 again. He loves the shots. 4th time he's had it. Wow. Strong delusion. Money Pit full movie. Money Pit full movie, please, says Teaker. Is that that's an actual movie? Yes, her whole reality is cointile stimuli. Yep, been around forever. Alka-Seltzer. Hom Tanks. We're not allowed to talk about him on YouTube anymore. They call it bullying. Oh, that's a Hom Tanks movie. Okay. Let's look that up. I guess we could probably decode a film he's in. Oh, there's a man called Otto. Oh, it's an upcoming movie. He was in Pinocchio. Let's look at his movies here. Cultural icon. So weird. He's from Sacramento. That's where I was born. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's look at his filmography. Upcoming. Geppetto. And so, yeah, he's going to play Geppetto. Oh my gosh. The symbolism in the Pinocchio story, it falls right in line with what people have found about this guy. Wow. That's crazy. A lot of people compared the island that Pinocchio went to Egg Stains Island. All right. Jeez. All right. So I'll dig into him a little bit at some point. Exactly. Shazane. You nailed it. It's right there in the word. Wow. Tom Hanks in Castaway. Alone on an island. Found a soccer ball. Yep, exactly. They love their island because they can do whatever they want on their island. The people there, once they're there, can't escape. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to decode the Pinocchio movie. Did it come out already? Let's see. because that's definitely one we need to take a look at. I think I could probably still decode him. I'm just going to have to use heavily coded language so as we don't get in trouble. But I think we can probably do that. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Where's the filmography? Or personal life, bibliography. Usually this is right at the top of these pages. Okay, here we go. Okay, Tom Hanks films. I'll look that up later. I won't bore you guys with all that. Okay, what else we got going on in here? The plane. Yep, there's another island. Fantasy Island. Another weird island. All kinds of weird stuff going on. Playing by their own rules. The programming's been around forever, you guys. Pinocchio. Sounds like another word, doesn't it? And Geppetto. Robin Williams' 1991 movie Hook, asks Asa. I think we decoded that at some point. I'll have to dig up that decode. I'm sure we looked at that movie. I'm almost positive. But I'll check that out. All right. Is the new Pinocchio a Pixar production? Let's look it up. I think it's 2022. Live action. Oh, it's... Wait a minute. There's an animated film. Oh, they're going to re-release the animated film in 2022, and they're doing the live action. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this. You kidding me? Wow. So that's definitely one we need to decode. Look at them. Look at this. So all I can say is look at this. Geppetto, I mean. So, September 8th. Oh, so that's coming up here pretty soon. Definitely going to take a look at this. September 8th. Tom Hanks is Geppetto. Kind-hearted but lonely Italian woodcarver. He's carving his wood, and toy maker who builds and raises Pinocchio as if he were his real son. Wow. This might be one we put up on ODYSEE. That way I can just be blunt and honest about it. So, just right in our faces, isn't it? Okay, so I'll take a look at that. Thanks for that. He just looks so creepy. Yeah, we did Polar... Oh, there's a Polar Express 2? Are you kidding? Let's look. Okay, let's see here. So here's the original. That's 2004. Now we decoded this one. This is a really powerful decode to help people wake up to the agenda. And let's see here. Does it say... It says Polar Express Locomotive. Oh, that's the production. Marketing release. It doesn't say there's a sequel. No sequel yet. So, yeah, but we did Polar Express. Pinocchio is a golem. Absolutely is, isn't he? Getting his wood carved. Jeez. It's going to be worse than Toy Story. And think about it. Pinocchio is a toy, right? So the true Toy Story was originally Pinocchio. So, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, we decoded that one. I'll have to find that. Secret of the Number 42. So I think it's here on this channel. People wake up usually once they're hit by the monsters. Spirit possession and kid diddling. Yep, you guys get it. And the growing nose, what is that? When Pinocchio's nose grows. We all know what that is. And these are stories that our children grew up on. And once you wake up to it, then you realize the truth about the world you really live in. Okay? And that's when people run to the arms of Jesus, because they're like, oh, wow, I was just grooming my children by having them watch all these shows and movies and cartoons. Then you wake up. All right. What else, you guys? Yes, phallic symbolism is everywhere. There's a snake in my boot. Did you know that in English vernacular, the boot means rear end? Did you know that? Rear end of the car. They call trunks boots. So think of that. Yeah, there was just so much. I mean, even in the Toy Story franchise, when Andy had Woody in the bed, right? But then Buzz ended up replacing Woody in the bed. These are films that we took all our children to see. My kids loved the Toy Story films when I was fast asleep. And then you realize what's really going on. And what is Buzz? He's not a toy. He's actually a toy, but used for other purposes. If you look at him, what he actually is, it's right there in your face. And the marking of their heels. All of the toys are marked in the bottom of their heel. It's like the bruising in the heel with Andy's name. It's written on their foot. Yes, uncool paranoia. And the things that are done to traumatize children. So that's what that's about. Something landed in the ocean, someone said. Huh. I remember Puss in Boots. Same thing. Think about that. Now that you know what a boot really is. So let's see what's going on here. Blind 11 ritual with the Georgia Guidestones goes back to the tomb of Osiris, discovered in 1999 on Blind 11. That's interesting. I've talked about Juice World. No. I don't do too many of the artists anymore. I just kind of got tired of it. Started feeling kind of creepy. And then you get all the haters from the art, all the people that love the artist, they come over, all the haters descend on the channel. You're just picking on him. And then you get reported for bullying. Kind of stop doing all that. I'm more focused on the symbolism instead of getting angry at the artists or the actors and stuff, because, you know, you show the symbolism and it's pretty much undeniable. Decode a baseball field. We actually have a video. We did decode that already. We decoded the actual baseball field, the diamond. Talked about what a home run is, going back to the pit, which is the dugout. Everybody goes back to the pit. Yeah, the dust. We talked about the dust, the cursed dust. How the baseball players are always picking up the dust and rubbing their hands with it. That's about the cursed dust. I'll put links to some of this stuff in the pinned comment some of your ideas. So let's see here. We have baseball diamond decode. And someone else asked for, what else did you guys ask for? Let me write a list here. I'll put links to all these videos for you guys so you can see them. Yeah, 60.6 feet from the pitcher's mound to the plate. Can you see our comments about trails? Yes. What else did you guys ask me about? There aren't many Toy Story decodes left on the channel anymore, but definitely look into Pinocchio. New Avatar movie has dark waters in it. Okay. Okay, the field is a protractor and compass. Yes. Which is the square and compass. It's all Masonic. Oh, Polar Express. I don't think I have that anywhere anymore. Get boots. Thanks, Anna. Boots are expensive. They're like $300 for a good pair of, like, what do they call them? Ranch boots? I don't know. They look really cool. I thought, man, that'd be pretty cool. Be a cowboy. But I looked at them and they're super expensive. Pinocchio in outer space was real trippy. Okay. Clockwork Orange. I think we decoded that one too. Try to find that. Hydrogel. Bipolar Express. It's pretty funny. Hard. Why did they screen that out? Why can't we see it? 33 McDonald's logo. Yes, there is. Yeah, we did a decode looking at different logos. Looked at Heineken. We looked at the Taco Bell logo. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Cowboy boots have always been expensive. Frozen. Yeah, we decoded Frozen. Let's put that on here so hopefully I can find those. A lot of those got taken down as well. Frozen decodes. Okay. Thanks for all the suggestions, you guys, because a lot of people are looking for these same decodes. New Lord of the Rings movie coming out. I heard about that. I also watched the first episode of Game of Thrones, the prequel. It was pretty uneventful. I mean, not a lot of symbolism to pull out yet, but I'm sure it's going to get going pretty soon here. The new Vidco post has an umbrella in it. Interesting. All right. No, you guys don't have to buy me boots. I'll figure it out. I don't want to be one of those channels that, you know, hey, you know, buy me a cup of coffee or buy my boots. No. You guys have your own problems and things you have to deal with. You don't need channels, you know, making you feel responsible to help them. I appreciate the support we do get, and many of you have signed up for the fundraiser. And so, you know, I'm blessed. Tree codes branches, says Spacey. House of the Dragon. Yeah. House of the Dragon is the Game of Thrones prequel. Sorry. And I just watched the first episode, so. You can get pretty good deals on items, even boots. Better Call Saul. Yeah, I really wasn't into that spin-off. Some of you remember the logo decode I did. I'll put that in the list too. Some of these videos go back to like 2013, you guys. You're gonna hear me from like 2013. The movie Get Out. I think we decoded that, but let me find it and put the link in the pinned comment for you guys. What's your address and what size feet are you? Yeah, I don't put out my address, but I wear a size 13. All right. But thanks. Thrift shop. Okay. That's a good idea. Yes, I love olives. I don't eat them much because they're so expensive, but I love olives. What is the theme about Stallone? No, nothing really. Just that he's getting a divorce. He's going to be alone, and his name has Stallone in it. He won't be alone, though. He's probably got all kinds of suitors clawing at his door just because he has money. 13 wide. Yeah, probably a wide. All right. Yeah, 13's a pretty big foot. Estate sales. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be some boots out there at an estate sale, right? Pick up for like $30 or something. I just went on to Amazon and it was like, what? $250 for a pair of shoes? Well, they're snake proof. Salad dressing. Have I done work on Elvis? Let me think. Elvis. You know, I don't think I have. That was the generation before mine. Yeah, one of you asked me to look at Sandman, the Sandman, the series that came out. And I tried to watch the first episode and I just got bored. There's something about that style of entertainment that it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. It's very difficult for me to get through. But someone's like, hey, check out episode 2. It's about Cain and Abel. So I'll give it another go. Let me put it down here. Sandman, episode 2. I will give it another go because a lot of you have mentioned it. So probably a good idea to take another look. Lots of good suggestions, you guys. Yes, Stallone's nickname is Sly. Never good. Yes, he did. Elvis brought in the importance of smack scenes, didn't he? Didn't he get it one live? He got like the polio one live. Yep. And it's interesting because they always keep comparing Trump to Elvis, don't they? Okay, what else? Yeah, the Comet Ice On soccer commercial. Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Speaking of thrift stores and Goodwill, these people have lost their minds. You know how much these thrift stores charge now? I remember when I was a boy, we'd go to the thrift store and you could actually go in there with a pocket full of change and come out with really cool stuff. Now, granted, the thrift stores have a lot better stuff now than they used to, but now they're running them like a business. Like you go in to buy a shirt and it's like $10 or $15. It's the same cost that you'd pay when you go, you know, to buy a brand new shirt. And they're getting all this stuff for free. So, I don't know, not to say you can't find deals at a thrift store anymore, but we all see what's going on. The prices have gone way up. Now, you go to a garage sale, that's probably your best bet. Money pits from the 80s. All right. Well, can you follow up on DeSantis videos you did? Gosh, we were kind of all over the place with him. He just mentions here and there. We never did really sit down and do a full decode on DeSantis. I think he'll be Trump's running mate. I think this is the setup 2024. That's what I think is going to happen. Because only those two have really emerged as any viable candidates. They won't let DeSantis run in the place of Trump. And notice what I said came true. You know, they've been pretending like it's the end of the line for Trump, right? Oh, any minute now he's going to get thrown in jail, lose all his riches, and it never happens, and it never will happen. This whole Mar-a-Lago raid was just a big photo op, is what it was. Everyone got behind him. Oh, poor Trump. He's being persecuted by the left. So, and he is, but it's all an act to get everyone to go vote. So, yep, won't be able to go to garage sales when they start pushing the digital currency. Absolutely right, Melissa. No more garage sales. And if you do, they're going to have a law that says that you have to give that person a receipt, and that you have to report your income from the garage sale. What a mess. What a mess. Because that's bartering, right? Pretty much. You do a garage sale, you sell something that you used to own, you're bartering it. But this is what's going to happen. It's all happening. Oh, Hanks is in the new Elvis film. Decode The Last Night in Soho. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, that's pretty much it. I've got enough here that I can put these links in here. I'll work on that right now so you guys get the links to all this stuff. And you'll have something to take a look at after this show is over. I love each and every one of you guys. You guys are the best subscribers on YouTube. Hands down. I love you guys. I love your enthusiasm. I love that you're part of the process of finding and getting down to the bottom of all this stuff, because you're very much a part of this. You make up probably 60 to 80% of all the material on this channel comes from ideas from you guys. Because you guys are out there and you guys see everything. And I rely on the Holy Spirit to guide me in which direction to go, because I do get a lot of feedback. And so I have to kind of pick and choose what I'm going to go with. And that's how we run this channel. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and be safe.